Gnome blessings to all of you, my dear Gnomean family. It has been far too long since we've gathered for one of our Sunday Gnome Talk, Sunday service deals that we got going on here. And I can't think of a better time to reconnect than today, the final Sunday of 2024. What a year it's been, filled with growth, laughter, learning, and gnome-sized steps towards something truly special. Now let's start with some exciting news. The Church of Gnome has officially entered the podcasting realm. Oh, that's right. These Gnome Talks are no longer just for YouTube. You can now find us on nearly every major podcast platform. We're on Spotify, Amazon Music, Google, many more. If you're on Apple Podcasts, then everything should be going on there in the next couple days, if it's not already. And so whether you prefer to watch or listen, there are now many ways to join the Gnomean community and take these talks with you wherever you go. Today, we're going to be reflecting on 2024, a year that honestly has surpassed even my wildest expectations. What started as a lighthearted idea, a spark of inspiration to wear a gnome hat and a driver's license photo back in February of this year, has grown into something real, impactful, and deeply meaningful. When I first began this journey, I never imagined that we'd reach people in 20 countries. Yeah, that is nuts. We have members in 20 countries. Gnomes are scattered all over the world, bringing smiles to many faces. So here we are to celebrate an incredible first year together. Of course, I know I've been quiet on the Gnome Talk front recently, and I want to acknowledge that. I'm working on many projects and priorities pulling me in different directions, but I signed up and agreed to be the Gnomean elder, and so I have a responsibility and a role to guide and connect, and I want to recommit to being more present for all of you in the year ahead. I'm setting my own intentions to make these Sunday services a more regular event once more because they matter. They connect us, and I'm trying to hopefully bring people some inspiration and help remind everyone why we are here. But today isn't just about looking back, it's also about looking within and ahead. As we reflect on 2024, I want this episode to serve as a moment of gratitude for the year we've had and a source of encouragement for the year ahead. Whether you've been with the Church of Gnome from the beginning or are tuning in for the first time, there's something here for everyone today, I hope. We'll be revisiting the milestones, celebrating the joy we've brought to others, and setting intentions for 2025, not just for the Church of Gnome, but for each of ourselves as individuals. So whether you're tuning in from a bustling city, a quiet countryside, or even a cozy nook in your home, let's make this moment count. Grab a warm drink, put on your favorite gnome hat, and let's celebrate all we've accomplished while dreaming of the magic still to come. Gnome blessings to all, and let's begin this end of year celebration together. So as I sit here reflecting on 2024, I can't help but marvel at everything we've accomplished together. When the Church of Gnome began, it was just a small seed of an idea, a playful notion that seemed as improbable as it was intriguing. Yet here we are, looking back on a year filled with growth, connection, and joy. This was the year that we planted the seeds of something special, something that has already begun to flourish in ways I've never imagined. Let's start with one of the most incredible achievements of 2024, the Church of Gnome. Like I said, having members in 20 countries around this world. Think about that for a moment. In less than a year, what started as a funny idea has grown into a community connecting people from places as far apart as Australia, Brazil, Germany, Pakistan, so many more places. This isn't just a milestone, it's a testament to the universality of what our message has become and the light-hearted nature of gnomes. 2024, without question, it was a year of groundwork. Starting the Church of Gnome wasn't just about an idea, it was about figuring out how to turn that idea into something tangible. There was the website to create, the membership and ordainment certificates to design, navigating all the legal parts of all this, and most importantly, the principles and the mission to define. And I'll admit, it was a steep learning curve. There was moments where I felt overwhelmed, wondering if I had taken on more than I could handle, but those moments were also some of the most rewarding. They forced me to think deeply about what the Church of Gnome stands for and what it could become. And while there's still plenty of work to be done, I'm proud of the foundation we've built. It's sturdy enough to support the growth and the possibilities of the future. So bring it on, 2025. One of the most tangible ways the Church of Gnome has grown this year is through the distribution of our signature little mini gnomes. If you're watching on video, you can see I've been making hundreds and hundreds of these, engraving churchofgnome.org into this little tree stump that a gnome is standing on. And I've scattered them everywhere. These small, partially wooden gnomes are like my missionaries. And as I've traveled the country throughout this year, I've put them everywhere. From the forests of Washington State to the misty spray of Niagara Falls in New York, these little gnomes have found their way into countless hands, sparking smiles and curiosity wherever they go. Handing these things to strangers, 90% of the time, it just makes that person's day. I think the other 10%, for the most part, is because people were worried that I was trying to sell them something. So, I had to work on my approach. I was just, just handing out, hey, it's just a gnome, just some gnome blessings. So I'm definitely not going to forget the Renaissance Fair this summer. Was a friend of mine's bachelor party. He wanted to have it at the Renaissance Fair. It was a joint bachelorette party with some close friends. I had never been to one before, and some other friends of mine had let me know, oh, this is going to be the place. If there was ever a place to spread the Church of Gnome, it is perfect for a Renaissance Fair. So I busted my ass for about a month leading up to it, and I made, it was 400 or 500 of those little gnomes. And by the end of that weekend, I had given out every single one. And watching people's faces light up as they received one of these gnomes and hearing their questions about the church, it was a good reminder of what this is becoming and why I'm still doing this, why I didn't just realize, whoa, I'm biting off a lot here. Maybe I can quit while it's still a little. But no, your Gnomean elder does not give up. So it's not about the gnome itself. It's about the joy it represents and the connection it fosters when you give one of these little guys to people. And one of the most surreal experiences this year was discovering just how far the church's influence has spread, even in my own backyard. There's been a couple occasions now where going to different taverns and breweries where the topic of the Church of Gnome comes up, and people there end out talking about how they've heard about the Church of Gnome. And then all of a sudden they realize, or come to realize, that it was me that did this. And so it's been humbling and exciting to see that just in this first year, there's already been instances we're coming across people I hadn't met before that have heard about the Church of Gnome. So that was pretty cool. Another highlight, which is something I plan to carry on into the future and encourage other people to do also. It's pretty ridiculous and easy, but I, not quite every day, but at least a handful of times each week, whenever I've been mindlessly scrolling through TikTok, I have just gone into people's live streams and just typed the simple comment, "Gnome blessings," or "Gnome blessings to you." And I swear you can see on the person's face when they end out reading that comment. It takes them aback a second, and the vast majority of the time, people are pretty stoked to get that comment. You can see they end out acknowledging it. And I don't even know the amount of times where I've heard someone say, like, "Oh, thank you. I really needed that today." Or or would spark some curiosity in them. And then all of a sudden they would be kind of a makeshift impromptu interview of them asking questions about the Church of Gnome. Or while they're live, they would end up going to the website and talking to their audience about it and just having a good laugh about how ridiculous this thing is, but also have some genuine curiosity for what we're doing. So yeah, any of you, if you're just mindlessly flipping through some live streams, comment "Gnome blessings" and see what it does. I think it's been pretty good. So the simple act has become a cornerstone of what the church represents. It's a reminder that even the smallest gesture can bring joy and connection to someone's day, and it's something all of us can do. So go spread the Gnome blessings, and not just on TikTok, but in person too. It's, pretty impactful to say it in person. But of course, no year is without challenges. And one of my goals for 2024 was to start organizing local cleanups. On the website, I have the charitable initiatives listed, such as bringing toys to children's hospitals or plants to retirement homes. And while those plans didn't fully materialize this year, I see that as part of the process. This was a year of learning, of figuring out what's possible, what's needed, and how to prioritize. Creating this foundation was so much more work than I realized that I was getting into, but also realistically, finances were another part of the learning. I had intentionally set up the church in a way that though we are registered as a nonprofit, I didn't set up a way for people to do donations yet, because I've really wanted to make sure that everything was set up ethically and sustainably. So I didn't want people just donating money until I really have a grasp of what the hell I am doing right now. And so we have brought in little bits through selling our ordainment packages or membership certificates, or for you OGs that come from the Kingdom of Gnome, the micronation I started in 2011, which has evolved into my gnome business where I sell gnomes like this or this or this holiday's top seller, my new gnarly gnome with that fresh butt crack right there. Um, I've been having it so through my separate gnome business, a portion of all the proceeds are being donated to the charitable side of the Church of Gnome. But with that, the merchandise, oh God, gnome down, sorry. We definitely operate at a loss this year, but that's okay. This is a purpose driven, passion organization. But moving forward, it would be nice. I do need to create a more sustainable model. I don't care to make some big profit like a televangelist off of this, but it would be nice if I could even cover the basics like hosting the website, doing some more marketing, maybe actually having a lawyer or a tax person go through stuff so I'm not trying to navigate all this myself. But then, of course, also beyond that, actually being able to materialize some of those bigger charitable missions that I had in mind, like bringing toys to children's hospitals or plants to retirement homes or anything like that. That is what I would want any of the excess that isn't used on just, I mean, basically keeping the lights on to go towards. But then there's also the things that won't cost me any money to do that I really do need to make sure 2025 gets hit hard with, such as organizing local cleanups, whether it be in my area or helping others organize it in their local communities. That doesn't cost any money, and that is time that I am happy to spend. So that's what needs to happen. And at the heart of everything we've done this year are the moments of joy we've created, whether it was a smile at the Renaissance Fair, a laugh during a TikTok live stream, or a spark of curiosity ignited by a tiny gnome. These moments are what truly define the Church of Gnome. They remind us that even in a world filled with challenges, there's still room for laughter, connection, and a little bit of magic. So looking back, I do feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude for all of you who have joined this journey, for the unexpected connections we've made, and for the foundation we've built together. 2024 was the year of planting seeds. 2025 will be the year of growth. So as we reflect on this incredible year, I want to shift the focus from the collective accomplishments of the church to your personal growth, your triumphs, your lessons, and the person you've become over the last 12 months. So first, let's pause and acknowledge something important. You've made it through another year, and that's no small feat. Life isn't always easy. 2024 may have brought you challenges, surprises, and moments you weren't sure you'd make it through, but you did. You are here now, stronger, wiser, and carrying the lessons of this year with you. Take a moment to think about who you were at the beginning of 2024. What were your hopes, your fears? How have you changed since then? Growth isn't always flashy or dramatic. Sometimes it's as simple as finding the courage to face each day or learning to be kinder to yourself. Whatever your journey looked like, it is worth celebrating. And in the spirit of Gnomean wisdom, let's remember that even the smallest steps forward can lead to meaningful change. Did you take up a new hobby this year, strengthen a relationship, find a new perspective on an old problem? These are moments that shape us, even if they seem small at the time. Sometimes growth isn't about adding something new, but letting go of something old. Did you release a burden this year? Perhaps a fear, a toxic relationship, or a habit that no longer served you? If so, celebrate that freedom. Growth is as much about clearing space for new possibilities as it is achieving goals. So let's also take a moment to honor the challenges you faced in 2024. Life tests us in ways we often don't expect, and it's through these tests that we find our strength. What were the trials you overcame this year? How did you adapt, learn, and persevere? Growth often happens in the shadows of struggle. Maybe you faced a difficult decision, navigated a period of uncertainty, or dealt with loss. With these moments, they are hard. They also have a way of revealing what truly matters and who we truly are. Reflect on those experiences, not with regret, but with compassion for the person who made it through. And then let's shine a light on your accomplishments, because yes, you've accomplished more than you might realize. Accomplishments don't have to be grand to be meaningful. Did you show up for someone who needed you? Find a moment of joy amidst your busy schedule. Learn something new. Take a step toward a long held dream. These moments all matter. And if you want, whether you're reflecting in your head, writing them down, that can be helpful too. Make a list of everything you're proud of this year, no matter how small it might seem. Seeing those achievements laid out in front of you is a powerful reminder of your progress. And one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself as you reflect on this year is compassion. It's easy to focus on what we didn't do, where we fell short, or the goals we didn't achieve, but growth isn't about perfection, it's about progress. If you've been hard on yourself this year, let this moment be the turning point. Speak to yourself with kindness. Acknowledge the effort you've made. Even if you didn't lead to the outcome you were hoping for, you are a work in progress, and that's something to be proud of. All of us are a constant work in progress, and that is a beautiful thing about being human, or a gnome. So as we reflect on the growth, let's also take a moment for gratitude, not just for the good times, but for the entire journey. Every experience, whether joyful or challenging, has played a role in shaping who you are today. What you are grateful for in 2024, maybe it's the support of loved ones, the lessons you've learned, or the simple fact that you're still standing. Gratitude has a way of shifting our perspective, helping us see the beauty in our journey, even when it's been difficult. To truly reflect on your growth, I encourage you to set aside some quiet time. Find a peaceful space, grab a notebook if you'd like, and ask yourself these questions. What were my biggest challenges this year, and how did I overcome them? What moments brought me joy or made me feel proud? What lessons did I learn about myself? And what am I most grateful for as I look back on this year? Take your time with these reflections. They're not just about looking back. They're about understanding who you are and how you've grown. So now, as we prepare to leave this year behind, remember that your growth doesn't stay in this year. It comes with you into the next one. The strength, resilience, and wisdom you've gained are tools you can use to create an even brighter future. You are not the same person you were at the beginning of the year, and that is a beautiful thing. Embrace the person you've become and know that every step you've taken, no matter how small, has brought you closer to the life that you were meant to live. My dear Gnomians, your journey is unique, your growth is remarkable, and your potential is limitless. So reflect on 2024. Honor the paths we've walked, the lessons we've learned, and the people we've become. and let us carry that gratitude and self-compassion into whatever lies ahead. We're going to switch it up a little bit now. And my dear Gnomeans, I have the Gnomean tips for 2025. I invite you to take a deep breath and imagine the new year as a blank canvas. The brush strokes are yours to make, each moment an opportunity to live authentically, embrace nature, and explore the endless mysteries of life. Together, let's make this a year of meaningful action, self-compassion, and connection to the earth and each other. So here are your Gnomean tips for 2025, enriched with the wisdom of the Gnomean principles and a sprinkle of heart from our cherished Gnomean proverbs. We will start with self-compassion. Let's begin with kindness. Kindness to yourself. Too often we've expected perfection in a world that thrives on imperfection. Self-compassion is the act of giving yourself permission to rest, to stumble, and to grow at your own pace. For even the best tended garden has a weed or two. Each day, take 5 minutes to acknowledge your efforts. When self-doubt creeps in, imagine speaking to yourself as you would talk to one of your best friends. Maybe even write down a few things you did well each evening, no matter how small they are. Let this practice be your guide to treating yourself with the same care that you extend to others. That's something most of us have a problem doing. We can be so kind to others, but it's very easy to be very harsh with ourselves. I also encourage all of you to live authentically. Authenticity is one of life's greatest acts of courage. Your quirks, your passions, and even your so-called flaws are what make you uniquely you. When you live authentically, you give others permission to do the same. Take time this year to evaluate what authenticity means to you. Are there parts of your life where you feel like you're wearing a mask? Where do you feel most alive and true to yourself? You can start small. Maybe it's as simple as wearing clothes that express your style or speaking up about what matters to you. A gnome without their hat is still a gnome, but they'll feel better with it on. Living authentically, that's something where, trust me, starting the Church of Gnome, I sure as hell had to do that. There's not much weirder than starting a gnome-based church and religion, okay? If I can do this, 2025, you all got this. I also want everyone to spend more time in nature. I think that will make the entire planet a better place if everyone allows themselves to spend more time in nature and connect. Nature holds endless lessons for those willing to listen. It reminds us of the resilience in storms, the beauty and simplicity, and the interconnectedness of all living things. Whether you live in a bustling city or a quiet village, make time to reconnect with the natural world. Even if it's as little as setting the goal to spend 1 hour each week. You can walk barefoot in some grass for a few minutes, tend to a small garden, or watch the stars from your balcony, go to the park. Let Earth's rhythms remind you that your grand place is in this big old web of life. The closer you are to the soil, the clearer the mind grows. Cultivating curiosity, that is a big part of the Church of Gnome and the Gnomean principles. Because curiosity is the spark that keeps life exciting. So in 2025, commit to asking more questions, exploring new ideas, and diving into the unknown. Life is full of mysteries, and curiosity is the key to unlocking them. Pick one subject that you've always been curious about and immerse yourself in it. Perhaps it's learning about the ecosystems in your backyard, studying the stars, or exploring the history of a distant land. Let curiosity guide you. It may lead to unexpected passions or paths. A gnome who asks why is wiser than one who says because. And in a world that moves at breakneck speed, stillness is a sacred act. It is in these quiet moments that we find clarity, peace, and connection to our inner selves. Start a stillness practice this year. It could be as simple as 5 minutes of deep breathing, sipping your morning tea or coffee without distractions, gazing at the horizon. Notice how these moments allow your thoughts to settle and your heart to calm. Inner peace is the cornerstone of a harmonious life. Building a community or joining a community, expanding your community. That's a great goal for 2025. Community is at the foundation of the Church of Gnome. It's where we share, connect, and grow together. So in 2025, let's strengthen these bonds and create spaces where we can support and inspire one another. Join a Facebook group, reach out to your friends, or join our Church of Gnome, small but growing Facebook community. Post a photo of your favorite gnome, share a piece of wisdom, simply say hello. Let's make a vibrant hub for connection and creativity that our organization deserves and that you deserve. I really do want that Facebook group to become something where there's thousands of people from around the world posting about their beliefs, their ideas, anything they think about existence, religion, life, death, whatever it may be. A place where people can learn from each other, get to understand if someone has a belief that's different than you, why. Maybe you'll learn something from them. Maybe they'll learn something from you. Or it can just simply be a place where people find support. That is what I hope it becomes. So a lone gnome can stand tall, but a circle of gnomes builds a village. Now, one of the other key Gnomean principles revolves around gratitude. Gratitude transforms how we see the world. It shifts our focus from what's missing to what's abundant, helping us navigate challenges with grace and appreciation. Start a gratitude journal or jar. Write down one thing you're grateful for each day. And at the end of the year, revisit these moments and reflect on the gnome blessings that 2025 brought your way. A thankful gnome finds gold in the simplest of treasures. We can also take small and consistent steps. Big dreams are built on small actions. This upcoming year, focus on consistent progress rather than perfection. Each step you take, no matter how small, it does bring you closer to your goals. Break your aspirations into smaller tasks. If you want to write a book, start with 50 words a day. If you want to connect more with loved ones, schedule a weekly call or a coffee date. Celebrate every day as a victory. A long journey begins with one step and maybe a snack or a beer here and there. We can all also this next year give back. Gnomes are known for their guardianship and generosity. So in 2025, look for ways to embody these values. Giving back doesn't require grand gestures. It's about small acts of kindness that ripple outward. Volunteer at a local cleanup, mentor someone, or simply share a kind word with a stranger. Giving back strengthens communities and fills our own hearts with purpose. A gnome's greatest treasure is the smile they leave behind. 2025, we all need to dream big. Though I know we said, we can break that into smaller, actionable steps, but that doesn't mean that you can't dream big. Dreams are the seeds of the future. So, what do you envision for 2025? Let your imagination soar and don't be afraid to think big. Your dreams hold the power to shape your reality. If you need to create a vision board, write a letter to your future self, outline your aspirations, and keep them somewhere visible. Revisit them often, letting them guide your actions and inspire your days. For a gnome who dreams with purpose grows forests in their mind. So as we're stepping into 2025, let's carry the wisdom of the past year and the hope of the new one. This is your year to live authentically, love deeply, and grow fearlessly. Together, as a community of Gnomeans, we can create a world that celebrates kindness, curiosity, connection. So, gnome blessings to you all. Now, what are my big goals for 2025? For the Church of Gnome, I'd say those goals are definitely I think it'd be awesome to get a couple thousand more members. That'd be pretty cool, but it's not just about growing the membership, it's about the actual action. And so starting some local cleanups in my area, getting them organized in other areas, just little things to spread smiles. I think that's kind of my main goal. Those cleanups and making people happier. Even if it's just a simple few second smile that they gain. I think those little moments really do pay off big. Say some of my other more personal goals are I am constantly giving myself so many projects. I have so many things always going on at once. I have this. I have the Kingdom of Gnome, my actual gnome crafting business. I have multiple bands that this last year really went on the back burner as I grew all these other projects, but music has always been a massive passion of mine, and so I need to finish the album I started years ago for Inquire Within, and in my own typical fashion, prior to finishing an album that I started years ago for my main music project, I decided to start a whole new music project and start writing music for that. So I think I need to release 2 albums this year, the Inquire Within album, and for Gnome King, because how could I start a gnome church and not, being a musician, start a gnome music project? So I got to do something with that. Here's a little taste of, here's a clip of one of the things I wrote for Gnome King.
Under starlit skies, they await from night's veil movements they make through the garden's sacred earth. Gnomes awaken a secret rebirth. Moonlight's glow, they rise from roots and soils, they surmise mystic whispers in the breeze, waking gnomes from silent ease. Round the flowers they will twirl in a hidden magic world.
Yeah, that's busting out some tasty jams. So it's side tangent. Subscribe to Gnome King on your favorite music streaming platform. So that's some of my goals for 2025. Also, to practice what I preach, I should do myself what I just encouraged everyone else to do. So, those are my goals. Let me know what yours are. If you're watching this on YouTube, put it in the comments. If you're from the Facebook group, I want to hear what your goals are in there. I hope that all of you listening have gained something from this. If you enjoy being part of the Gnomean community, encourage others to join, have them sign up as a member at the website, and then join the Facebook group. I really do want to get that thing growing. So if you're not in the Facebook group, go get in there. You can find it through the Church of Gnome's Facebook, or just search the group Church of Gnome. Pretty easy. Well, I think I'm going to leave this episode at that. And so, as always, gnome blessings to you all. And thank you for making the Church of Gnome blow up in ways that I could not imagine in 2024. So, we didn't even have a full year in 2024. So, 2025, it's going to get wild.